Hello guys, I'm gonna wait a little bit for you guys to enter into the. Sorry, I have problems with my volume here. Give me just 1 second, guys. Okay, I think it's fine now. Can you tell me, guys, please, in the comment section if my sound is good or not? I think my volume is okay. Hello, Goddess, how are you? Happy to have you here. Can you hear me well? Sound is great. Okay, I hear an echo here, so I don't know what's going on. Trying to fix this. Okay, I think it's good. Okay, I think it's no, still hear my echo here. Sorry, guys, cannot talk like that. Trying to fix something here in my audio with my audio. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I think it's fine now. Can you hear me well, guys? Please. Hello, Tony. How are you? Uh, Sorry, not Tony. It's Tony. Topher is here. How are you, Topher? Goddess. We have also. Okay, sound is good. Thank you. Now it's good in my side as well. So tonight we're gonna talk about. No, actually we're gonna do a tier list about Kegan Klein, and I want you guys to help me ranking the main elements pointing to Kegan Klein as the mastermind of this crime, which is my theory. I know it's not yours, but anyways, I want to do this with you guys. It's a good pretext to talk to you. Oh, Mar is here. How are you, Mar? Happy to have you here. I'm gonna also drop the link. If someone wants to call, please just call. So, welcome. Welcome to the channel. Happy to have you here, Mar, as usual. Give me just 1 second, guys. I'm trying to fix it. Can you hear my? Can you see properly my screen, my tier list screen here? So what I'm presenting here is in the top section of the tier list, we're gonna put the most damning elements pointing to Kegan Klein as the brain behind the crime. The more we decrease, the less important is that element, let's say. So at the top is the main. We are gonna put here the main elements, and when we decrease in the table, it's gonna be not that important. Let's say the element. So, all right, let's start with this. No more protocol here, guys. So the most obvious element, of course, Kegan Klein is the creator of the Anthony Shots account. So this is nothing new, of course, no breaking news, but it's a very important element in this crime. We know that Kegan Klein was communicating with Libby the days before of the murders and also the day of the murder. So he was in communication with Libby just before and right the day of the murders. And not only with Libby, Anthony Schotts, Kegan Klein, was communicating with the friends of Libby. So we all know that this is nothing new. If you have any comments, please, guys, let me know in the comment sections. In the comment section, we're gonna I'm gonna put the comments here to talk to you guys. I don't see the comments. I have some problems with my screen, guys. It's gonna take a little bit of time to. Let me just check here fast. I have some issues with my screen. I hate this. I'm trying to display the comments, but I don't think the comments are showing up on the screen right. Can you tell me if the comments are there? I think, yeah. Okay, sorry, I can see the comments now. So exactly, Toffer. He planned to meet the girls at the bridge. I think that was the whole plan. Uh, he There are two theories. One theory is that it was Libby, the one who invited Anthony Schultz to that meeting at the bridge. And of course, the other theory is that it was all planned by Anthony Schultz himself. Anyways, there was an important communication between Anthony Schultz and Libby again the days before and the day of the murders. So let me see here with the in the comment section. Goddess is saying hello to Toffer. Spooky Sokoke. How are you, Spooky? Dropbox should be S. Yeah, Dropbox is gonna be there for sure. We're gonna talk about that soon. Candy's here. Listening on the road. Where are you going, Candy? Let us know. Brion. Brion, I don't know if I'm pronouncing okay your name. Saying hello to Mar. Comments are up. Yeah. I don't know why my screen was acting weird, but now it's fine. Brune, my wife. What do you mean? I don't understand that. Oh, Daisy's here. How are you, Daisy? I know that there was a lot of noise in Twitter between you and some other guys. Just try to try to chill. Don't pay attention to that stuff. Do your thing, and try to avoid the noise. I know that it's not easy, but anyways, it's the best thing we can do, I think. But I'm no one to give any advice. I know that sometimes when we are upset, we have to answer back. So, anyways, I was just thinking about the whole situation, and I hope everything's gonna be okay. Uh, I will totally be your wife. Spooky and Brion, what a couple! Wow, Spooky. She has his cigarette and eyes ready. I pronounce you ladies white and white. Wow. I can trade my husband for you. Sunflowers here. Xiao Sunflower, the Italian uh, participant of the chat. Buonasera. Buonasera is a good night. In Spanish is buenas noches. Spooky Sokoke. Absolutely. I would move back to Colorado for you. No. Good. Listen, this is what it is in this community. Sometimes we cannot avoid the drama, but we can try to control it somehow. You know what I mean? Hey guys, what's going on with Josh? What's happening? He disappeared. Really weird. I hope Josh is fine. Let's start a new investigation here. We have to find him. It's not normal. Where is him? We are worried about you, Josh, and we need you back for sure. Veronica is here. What's that joke between Brian and Puki Sokoke? I think Kegan Klein was involved for sure. Yeah, for sure. We are gonna go deeper later, but of course he was involved. I'm shaking it off. I got my peeps who know and respect me exactly. When you have your viewers, I think they're gonna respect you, and they're gonna be with you, anyways. And I don't know exactly what happened, but I think you're a good person and a good element here in this community. So yeah, uh, no worries. Take it easy. Why are you doing that, Mar? What is that face? Don't get it. Mar is funny. Yeah, where is he? I don't know. So weird. Come on, guys. It's really. I don't have his phone number. I don't know, guys, if you have it. Maybe you can give him a call. I was trying to contact him by Twitter, but no, no answer. Yeah, everyone is trying to contact him, and I don't know. It's weird. I hope it's just. I don't know. Maybe he made a trip to. I don't know, to some spiritual retirement place, or I don't know, but it's weird. Yeah, please, Pookie, keep trying, keep trying. No bullshit fabricated drama, please, I beg. No, no, never, never. So let's continue with the next element. One element that bothers me a lot is I'm not gonna put it as very important, let's say. I'm gonna put that element in the third line of the tier list. So when David Vido, he was talking to Kegan Klein during that interrogation, uh, he said at one point you blocked Libby because she was annoying you, and this is still a mystery for me. I don't know what was that situation there between Kegan Klein, Anthony Schultz, and Libby. There was a like a fluid communication, and at one point he blocked Libby, but still the meeting was conducted, in my opinion. So what happened there? Why was Kegan Klein blocking Libby? Because according to Vido, she was annoying um, Kegan Klein. It's because he was trying to make her jealous. It's because Libby knew something about Kegan. It's because I don't know. Libby was. I don't know if Libby knew something about the whole catfishing situation. Maybe she was trying to expose uh, Kegan Klein or Anthony Schultz, and that whole meeting was just part of that scenario. Libby trying to demonstrate that Anthony Schultz was not that uh, handsome guy, let's say. So I don't know. There's something there that bothers me, and I still don't have the answer. I don't know, guys. What is your opinion about that? So this is gonna be my second element, not the most important, let's say, but to me, still interesting. I don't know, guys. What do you think about that? Let me go again back to the chat for a while. Yeah, me too. I hope he's just on a. How do you pronounce that? Hiatus? Hiatus? I don't know. Andre. How are you, Andre? Andre or Andre? Looks like a French name, Andre. Hey, Cryptex, fellow Canuck. So, was the Tyler in the phone dump who was texting back and forth with Liberty with Libby German phone on the 12th February? Really, the Kegan Klein Anthony Schultz account? I don't know. I didn't pay too much attention to the cell phone data, and I know that there is this guy Tyler in that uh, communication stuff, let's say. and he was maybe one of the last people contacting Libby. I didn't pay too much attention. I know that there is this girl, Lana or Lara. Uh, I forgot her channel, and she was doing like a deep dive in that aspect. And there was some noise about that guy Tyler. I don't know who's Tyler. Please, guys, let me know in the chat. I have to explore uh, more about that. I don't know, and this is kind of new for me. So maybe you know more than me. Sorry for being late with the news. Sunflower saying that she remember hearing this. Yeah, uh, he blocked Libby at one point because she was annoying him. So what's there? I don't know. Spooky. Libby probably didn't play into Kegan Klein's style of nagging and not giving him what he wanted. Therefore, annoying. That's a good. That's a good theory. But we're gonna talk later about other elements, and I think that actually she was playing that game, and I'm gonna tell you why in a couple of minutes. We have the Cash App application. We have the money that Kegan was sending to Libby. So to me, there was some type of transaction there. So, anyways, let's see soon. Spooky. I think Libby knew 100% that Anthony Shots was not real. I think she was trying to get to the bottom of it. Yeah, that's very probable for sure. Lana, exactly, Lana. Truth and transparency, yes, exactly. I started watching the video, but it's like 4 hours, and I have my attention span is not very good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extract the transcript, and I'm gonna try to read the whole thing because I'm not that good to stay in front of the screen during 4 hours. But maybe I'm gonna give it a try. Yeah, Spooky. She has also always good theories for sure. Brion, Spooky. That's what I think. She was spicy and also not demure in her style of flirting, which would have been a turn off. So one of Libby's friends in the recent Hulu documentary hinted at that being the case. Yeah, I think she was talking about Tyler, but again, I don't know who's Tyler. Sorry, I'm late. So, yep, Libby looks protective and determined in that snap in the car. That picture is weird. I don't know if they're tired. I don't know if they were fighting. It's an interesting picture. I really don't know. So let's come back to the tier list. Uh, I'm gonna put this element here. This is the press conference that was uh, made by Indiana State Police when they went out to talk about Anthony Shots. And what is interesting here is that everybody, when you think, or my perception is that in this community, when people think about Kegan Klein, they think about a guy who is just behind the computer, and they don't think about someone who is able to go out and to participate in a crime. But remember that during this press conference, during this announcement about Anthony Shots, the police officer, he was very clear, saying that the Anthony Shots account was not only an account that was trying to get pictures or nudes, it was also an account that was trying to get the addresses of the victims and that was trying to meet the victims. So this is the modus operandi of Anthony Schultz or Kegan Klein. Let's remember that information. It's gonna take a couple of seconds here, guys. So let's listen to that section of the press conference.
An attempt to meet with them.
Sorry, I didn't have the audio, sorry.
Pictured on your screen, an attempt to
Again.
meet with them. Nude communicating with juvenile females to solicit nude images, obtain their address, and attempt to meet with them.
Let's repeat it. This is very important, guys. The modus operandi of Kegan Klein was not only obtaining nudes from the girls. It was obtaining the addresses and trying to meet the victims. So there's a misconception here in this community about what was the way Kegan Klein was working in that catfishing situation. Let's listen to this part of the press conference. It's very important.
Obtain their address and attempt to meet with them. Nude images, use this information while communicating with a known male model and portrayed himself as being extremely wealthy and owning numerous sports cars. The creator of the fictitious profile used this information while communicating with juvenile females to solicit nude images, obtain their address, and attempt to meet with them.
Obtain the address and attempt to meet with them. So that changes the whole game, and we have to change our chip in our brain. Kegan Klein is not a guy behind the computer. And I know that some of you are rolling your eyes, guys, but that's why he's fooling a lot of people here in this community, and that's bad. That's bad because he's a master of manipulation, and we have the information there directly from law enforcement, and we have other elements pointing to the same angle, and I'm gonna go there. So let's come back to the tier list. Before continuing with the next elements, I'm gonna come back to the chat to not to be too late. So Brian, she said she wanted to fight Tyler. That was flirting. It's a girl thing. Can you explain that? I don't get this. She did say something about a fight. Tougher, I find it highly unlikely that a predator lured them to the place that another unrelated predator kidnaps them. I'm trying to answer to your questions. Where there are predators working together, I think the term is pack wolves, a pack of wolves, and there's multiple examples. So I don't find it unlikely at all. These people work together. These people are perverts. They share stuff. So I really don't think that this is unlikely. And anyways, let's say that the one who wanted to have the girls for himself was Tony Klein. Let's say that he could pay someone else just to lead the girls to the other side of the bridge, or just to be in communication with him to confirm that the area is clear, that there was no people there. Anyways, I don't know if you get my point. Spooky. Kegan Klein is the liaison. He grooms his victims and gets them ready, gets pictures, continues grooming, then sells their contact information for other predators to pick up where Kegan Klein let off. It's not impossible, and Uh, if that's the situation, that means that Kegan Kline is still the brain behind the crime. He was the one who did the full setup. So that's not impossible. That's probable, but I think he was part. He participated physically in the crime. At least I think that it was. It's he was telling the truth when he confessed about driving to the cemetery with Tony Klein, and I'm gonna go there later. But yeah, Paul Dickerson, he could maybe ride around, but not walk those hills. Uh, why do you say that? Uh, I think this is another misconception. He was not like incapacitated. He was not that fat at the time. He used to hike. He used to go to parties. There are pictures of Kegan Klein swimming in a creek, very similar to the Deer Creek. So I think this is a big misconception also. But uh, he could be just waiting in the car at the cemetery, as he said. Not impossible. Linda's looking Miller. How are you, Linda? Tyler Joe French. Okay, who's Tyler Joe? His uncle owns the house at the top of the hill, south of Wilson Bridge, related to Logan Maxwell, who was also on the trail. His folk, his folks were first house searched. Ah, okay, interesting. So Libby was in communication with Tyler. I guess that day, the day of the murders as well. Tyler Joe, thank you for the information. Not sure we'll know who this Tyler person really was. We can only speculate, I guess. Well, some people has the information, as you can see here. That's how we. That's how this all started last time. Remember his interrogation? Was it video? I forget. Yeah, it was video, and I have that image to put it in the tier list. Of course, that was the ski mask incident. So again, we are talking about action. So Anthony Schultz paying some visits to his victims. Brian, Libby was talking to Tyler the night before and said that. Okay, the night before, not the day of the murders, the night before. He said, "Do you want to race?" She said, "No, I want to fight." It's a girl thing. It's flirting. I'm not sure how to explain it. Now it's clear. I think it makes sense. So Topher says, that's why I said unlikely, unrelated. I think it was a ring. Yep, not impossible. Sunflower Lola. I thought I read somewhere that Libby was going to report to law enforcement about something. I don't think we have that information. Maybe rumors of or a speculation, but Sterling. How are you, Sterling? Great topic. Is there any evidence that Kegan Klein, in fact, tried to get addresses? Yeah, there's evidence in another case, in another CSAM case, unrelated to the Delphi one. There's the testimony of one of his victims who said that Kegan Klein who asked her for her address in order to send her Victoria's Secret gifts. So that was the way to manipulate the victim. So again, that was part of his modus operandi. So he was promising, if I remember properly, Victoria's Secret stuff, shoes and underwear, something like that. It was related to Victoria's Secret. So he was asking the girl, "Hey, give me your address, then I'm gonna send you some Victoria's Secret presence. I have the transcript of that testimony. So yeah, Kegan Klein in fact tried to get addresses. It's a fact. Spooky So Cocky. That was a local rumor really early on. People said Libby was going to have a meeting with Taube on the 14th. With Taube? Taube Lisenby? I thought Tyler is a kid that went to a neighboring school and we know who he is. Topher. Didn't he get an address of that one girl just before someone in a ski mask was trying to look through her window? Now that you're talking about the ski mask, okay, we have the ski mask here. We are gonna put the ski mask incident uh, in at the top of the list again, and this is, in my opinion, connected or linked to the previous topic. Uh, Anthony Shots looking for addresses. Anthony Shots not only being behind the computer. The speculation is that in that case, it may be Tony Klein, the one who was looking through the window of that girl. Um that incident was the incident that started the whole connection between Anthony Shots and the crime. Remember that. That's stated in one of the transcripts, in one of the interrogations to Kegan Klein. Vido talking to Klein is telling him, remember that incident? The girl involved in that situation was a friend of Libby. So the speculation is that it could be Tony Klein because, as you know, Tony Klein has a history of being a stalker. When he was living in Young America, I think he was reported 2 times because of that type of uh, situation. Also, there was a ski mask incident in Young America. It was not confirmed that it was Tony Klein, but I don't know how many people could live there at the time. It was nothing. And the one having that type of pattern is Tony Klein. So to me, it's fair to assume that the one doing that was Tony. But anyways, it's a big jump, let's say, in terms of conclusion, but maybe not that big. Anyways, so we have the ski mask element here, again in the first line of the tier list. Coming back to the chat, still talking about Tyler. Anyway, it's interesting. We didn't know anything about Tyler before, about that communication, in my opinion. And now this is in the map uh, of this crime today. Again, thank you to All Eyes for pushing to have the transcripts. This is a mine of gold, a very important information we have today. Linda's Looking Miller. Tyler Joe French, the guy with the paper plates with Kokomo Clue. He was at the trail the day of the murders, and he looks just like the second sketch to me. We have to do a full show about Tyler. Interesting. Interesting. The ski mask incident and Victoria's Secrets, V, isn't it Shelby who was said she had the paper plates? I don't have too much to add to the conversation in regards of Tyler. If someone wants to call and talk about that, I would appreciate. Classic Overthinker from Australia, how are you? Do we have any substantiating documents on the ski mask incident? Well, I think the transcript is not a joke. It's an official document. People say that you can lie in that type of interrogations. I agree, but the information is there. And I remember two YouTubers talking with the girl, True Crime Blog, and another one. I remember that interview, and I think we have enough elements to say that that was actually an event, an actual event, in my opinion. The phone number comes to a Tyler, not French or white. Good point, V. Good point. Yeah, I heard about Tyler. I don't know what is his family name, but maybe. Where can I see proof of the schemas incident or the Victoria's Secret incident? I can send you the information, the transcript of the testimony of the victims regarding to the Victoria's Secret incident. It's all over the place. You can find it easily. V, I'm confused on the ski mask incident because wasn't that girl a relation or family friend of Klein's? So he already know her address, of course. But the girl, he believed that she was talking to Anthony Schultz, not to Kegan Klein. So that's why he had to put a mask. Of course, he knew the address, but uh, that's the way to how can I explain, to manipulate the girl. So that's why he's not gonna go without a mask because the girl already knew him. You know what I mean? It's part of the whole manipulation tactic, like pretending not to know her, pretending not to know her information. So I don't know if you got my point, but to me it's clear as crystal. Mar, you should check out Truth and Transparency because she said she dug into Tyler. Yeah, we need a little bit more information about that. Mustang, how are you, Mustang? Happy to have you here. The Yeah, no, I didn't talk about that, but we can go into that topic, into that suspect as well, subject. I think the most important part between the conversation between Libby and Tyler is how she handles herself. That said, I'm still under the impression that Tyler is a school kid that was in class. Let's see. Scrolling down here, guys. Libby sounded obsessed in those texts. Okay, have to investigate more. Let's come back to the to the tier list. The marathon gas station here is we have it 2 times. Why? Because there are two very important elements related to the marathon gas station. The first marathon gas station element is gonna be at the top again of the list. Kegan Klein was looking for the address of the marathon gas station in Delphi the day of the murders. So how can you ignore that? How can you explain that? To me, this is one of the elements pointing to Kegan Klein being in Delphi that day. I think maybe Tony, I don't know who was the other guy, friend one or Tony Klein, but definitely Kegan Klein. Kegan Klein, he drove to Delphi and he met someone at the marathon gas station. That's transparent in my opinion. And let's go right away with the second marathon gas station element. We don't have the video. The video or yeah, the video of the security camera is not available. So that was the piece of evidence we needed to confirm or to discard that Kegan Klein was at Delphi that day. So marathon gas station again, a very important element. Kegan looking for the address of that station in Delphi, and the security video that disappeared by magic. This is bad. So smelly, fishy. Also, there's another accident here in terms of technology. We have uh, interviews that were deleted or not deleted, destroyed or accidentally destroyed by law enforcement. And we have also uh, that security camera video destroyed accidentally. Yeah, right. Smelly, fishy. So that was the marathon gas station element. Coming back to the chat. Let me come back to the chat here, guys. So, Mar, still talking about Tyler, an addicted co-conspirator. How are you? Here, finally driving and lurking. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Happy to have you here again. Hi, what the? Hi, what the? What's going on with you? Long time no see. There was never a police report on the ski mask incident, correct? That's the that's the fairy tale, I think. But to me, that situation happened actually. V, still talking about Tyler. Yeah, we have to go deeper into the Tyler stuff. Crazy that the lady who was working there at the time died too. Yeah, another coincidence. Everything surrounding Kegan Klein is a coincidence here. A lot of coincidences surrounding Kegan. Spooky. I cannot remember how, but I'm sure someone here does. Remember what? Ma, this whole case is full of I can't believe stuff. Yeah, it's just incredible, huh? It's just incredible. Yeah, another death. Amber Bowler. That was her name, okay. Accidentally, exactly. They said a sudden heart attack around 4:30 a.m. She was 43, I believe. And heart attacks in women are not really usual or typical. It's a weird way to die for a woman. But anyways, it happens. So your S tier is going to be maxed out. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, you're gonna see that. Andre, heard she died in her sleep. Amber Bowles, rest in peace. Only 41. 41 or 43. Yeah. Anyways, very young. Very, very young. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, let's come back to the tier list. Uh, Another fishy element here. The Samsung cell phone of Kegan Klein. He did hide the cell phone the same day of the same day the law enforcement conducted the search warrant at his house in Peru. So that was the phone that he was using to communicate with Libby. Remember that he hid the phone behind the microwave, and after law enforcement left the house, or after Kegan was released from that interrogation. He deleted Snapchat, Instagram. I think it was Meet Me, uh, a bunch of applications. He deleted those applications from the phone, and also the Google searches. Uh, After deleting and reinstalling those applications, he gave the phone to law enforcement again. So, what do you think about that? It's just he was trying to delete, or he did. He just erased evidence. Another fishy uh, situation or element uh, from Kegan. So, what the fuck is that? It's just bad. Uh, as one of you guys said, that S line is gonna explode because most of the elements here are really important. I'm gonna try to look for the less important ones, and yeah. But before, let's come back to the chat for a while. Brian, classic overthinker. I thought Libby sounded like a shit talker and a girl that I would have friends with in those texts. I have to read those conversations or those communications, let's say. Spooky, thank you for your honest opinion and continuing to speak out about this bullshit. Did she know the green one? What is the green one, Mar? Are you talking about? A little bit lost here with you guys. Okay, let's go with an element that is maybe not that important, but I think it's still interesting. The voice of uh, Bridge Guy and Kegan Klein. So I'm gonna put that element in the fourth line of the tier list. Remember that, in my opinion, and I know I have a bias, but to me, the voice of Kegan Klein is exactly the voice of Bridge Guy. When the murder sheet was interviewing the stepbrother of Kegan Klein, I don't remember his name, Bart, I think. He said that, according to him, and it was like kind of painful for him when he was giving that answer to the murder sheet. He said, I have to be honest, uh, the Blitz guy voice it sounds like Kegan. In my opinion, it's a match, but I'm not a voice analyst. I'm not a voice expert, so my opinion doesn't matter. But it's just my feeling, and it's maybe a bias. But his stepbrother, a person who knew Kegan Klein like for years since babies, he said that the voice is a match. But to be fair, in this conversation or in this element, the sister of Kegan Klein, again, when he talked to the murder sheet, she said that the voice was not a match. So we have two different opinions about that. And we know that everything, in my opinion, everything related to the voice is subjective. Uh, Ron Logan, he sounds like a British guy. Uh, Richard Allen sounds like British guy. Kegan Klein sounds like a British guy. I think the one who doesn't sound at all to British guy is Tony Klein. I think the voice pitch is too high. He talks like in a girly way, let's say. So, anyways, that was one element I consider interesting, maybe not important, but I wanted to have it here in the list. Let's go to the chat for a while again. Andre, Andre is very interested in Tyler, which is good. I, I have to explore that angle for sure. Linda. Amber was talking in groups in Facebook. She said she put the receipt that she returned from the trash can that proved Michael Mike Patty purchased 3 Gatorade around 12:30. Really? Really? Okay. So, anyways, interesting. True crime with Eve. How are you, true crime with it, Eve? Heather. How are you, Heather? Happy to have you here. Nice to have you guys in the chat. Just scrolling down. Scrolling down, scrolling down. Okay, so we talked about the voice. Let's talk about the DNA. This is I'm gonna put it maybe in the second. I cannot do that. Okay, it's gonna be here at the top. When Kegan Klein was in Vegas, uh, he was looking in Google how long the DNA lasts. How weird is that? How weird is that? How long DNA lasts? I I think this is very very bad. Uh, Remember True Crime Web, Steve? When Steve talks about Keegan Klein, this is the element that bothers him the most, and he's right. Why would you be worried about how long the DNA lasts? It's just I don't know. He was worried about that situation. And remember that law enforcement they took some DNA samples, some swabs uh, from Keegan Klein, and I think it was Mar who was talking about how weird is this case because it's somehow similar to the situation with Elvis Fields when Elvis Fields was saying uh, if I can explain why my spit was on the girl, something like that. It's somehow similar that situation. Why was Keegan Klein worried about the duration of the DNA on the bodies of the girls when he was in Vegas? It's like, why was he worried about that? What do you think, guys? It's really bad, really, really suspicious, very suspicious. So to me, that's gonna be here in the top of the list. Let's put a main element here, of course, the confession. The confession of Keegan Klein. He confessed about the crime at the Grissom Air Force Base. Uh, Remember the full confession about him driving to the cemetery in a red Jeep with his father. His father went to commit the crime with another guy. In my opinion, it was Bridge guy, the other guy. They killed the girls, and when Tony came back to the red Jeep or to the car, uh, he told Keegan, "We had some fun," and he was bloody. Coming back to Peru, they discarded the phone and the knife into the Wabash River. That confession triggered the search of the Wabash River for 6 weeks, $1 million, and right after that, we have the arrest of Richard Allen, which I think is very interesting, and to me, there's a connection there. But anyways, uh, another big element in this case, the confession of Keegan is the only official confession of someone in this case. We know we have statements from Elvis Fields, statements from other people, but official confession, that's the only one. And why don't we have that confession yet? I want and I think it was videotaped. So I want to read the transcript. I want to watch that videotaped confession. I don't know if that's confidential, like sealed forever. I hope no. But interesting again. Coming back to the chat, Heather is doing well. Cool. I'm glad you're doing well. Andre's obsessed with the Tyler stuff. Yeah, for sure. I heard about Mike Patrick buying the drinks as well, but never proven. Yeah, I don't think this is there's proof of that. I agree. Yeah, the DNA, that's very suspicious. Very suspicious. V, I had this post for a minute and got behind in chat. Classic overthinker. I came in late. Was the monkey in house party applications spoken about? No, not yet. Not yet. I don't know. I don't know, classic. Good question. Curious look. Why was Vito investigating Tony Klein after Rick Allen was arrested? And why did he stop? Uh, because Kegan was uh, giving information about Tony Klein. He said that Tony was the one who was with him, and maybe I don't know. My guess is that they didn't find. There are two possible scenarios. One, they didn't have enough evidence about Tony being part of the crime, and that's why they are not able to arrest Tony. Or you know what's the other option? Uh, Maybe Tony he has some information about someone with power in that town implicated in that Dropbox, and that's why they don't want to go after Tony. I don't know. It's a very good question. Brian, Libby and Abby are all of our children. The safety of all of the children of the world belong to us. Also, the Florida links. There are only two mentions of Dropbox, one involving a teen girl and one involving an individual of undetermined age. That's strange. I remember that the Dropbox that was being used by Kegan Klein, the the name of that Dropbox was the name of a woman, and the name was Hannah something. Hannah, I don't remember exactly, but I think there were a lot of people involved in that Dropbox, not only two people. I don't think so. They say nothing more on it. Curious look. The Klein rabbit hole is deep and complex and filthy, and in every single angle. I mean, it's not only from the side of law enforcement, it's also filthy, in my opinion, from the side of the defense. Because, in my opinion, the defense, and I know this is when I process the whole information after the ending of the process of Richard Allen, the more I think about the way he was represented, the more I think the defense was just bad. They had I this is my point since forever, but today is like more solid. Let's say they had tunnel vision with the full Odinism angle. They didn't want to go into the Klein and into the Ron Logan angle. And this is really weird, really fishy. If you want uh, to free your client or to defend your client, the easiest way is to use the Ron Logan angle or the Kegan Klein angle. And they didn't want to look at that. And I'm gonna share here. I think oh no, sorry. I closed that. I know it's maybe here. Yeah, I think it's here. Okay. The the lawyers of Ron Logan and Kegan Klein, they were connected to the firm of Bradley Rossi, which is Hillis and Hillis. So there's a conflict of interest. To me, that's why the defense, they didn't want to go deep into the Kegan just full Odinism. So let's listen to this short video here because this is a very interesting information. And I don't know if maybe some of you know, sure, you are doing a deep dive in this case, but maybe some of you don't know it. So let's listen to these videos from JSD. So it's gonna take a couple of minutes. I'm gonna play it all. It's 4 minutes.
All right, Justice Warriors, I wanted to share something with you. So while Ron Logan in 2017 was found out that he was driving when he wasn't supposed to be, and he went to ask his cousin to say he was driving him rather than he was driving, which violated his probation. And he went to court in front of Judge Curtis Fouts. This is April 3rd, 2017 hearing that I'm showing. And at the time, Ron Logan's attorney was Andrew Akey. Well, when Kegan Klein got arrested, all the way up until he was sentenced, which was not till the end of 2022, Andrew Akey was Kegan Klein's attorney as well. So what does that mean? Andrew Akey has his own law firm. He's his own law firm. Rosie and Akey in Logansport. So he was in the same legal firm with Brad Rosie, Richard Allen's attorney. So we have that while he was still under the same partnership with Brad Rosie, Andrew Akey was representing Ron Logan. Now, Ron Logan went into jail in April of 2017. So Reese Davis, who was at the Newcastle facility, right, the Newcastle prison, jail, private operated, where Kegan Klein was moved to quietly. News didn't cover it. I covered that, wondering why news never covered that after his appeal, and he was waiting for his appeal, he gets moved over to this facility. Well, that is where Ricky Davis is, and that is also where Ron Logan had went to jail for a while. Now, he didn't serve out his whole term because they let him go home. But Ricky Davis is basically saying that Ron Logan goes in there in April of 2017 and turns around a few weeks later in May of 2017 and tells Ricky Davis, I committed this murder and here's all the details for it. Now, they are no longer, Akey and Rosie are no longer under the same firm. But obviously they know each other very well to be legal partners together in there. A little interesting, I'll put it that way, that Richard Allen's attorney was partners with Ron Logan's attorney and Kegan Klein's attorney for two guys who were under the same firm together.
100%. That was JSD. Please, guys, subscribe to her channel. The information there is awesome. She does a deep dive in the Kegan Klein's angle. She's just awesome. Great content creator. And she's right. There's a conflict of interest in the defense when we talk about the defense lawyers of Richard Allen. They were representing their associates, let's say. They were representing Ron Logan and Kegan Klein. So this is bad. This is bad. And if you are in the pro Allen side, you have to take that into consideration, because maybe he was not represented properly because of that conflict of interest. This is really unacceptable. But coming back to the chat, I went and looked at the Monkey House Party video archives, and holy shit. Tell me about that. What did you find? Thank you, Curious Look, for being here, for commenting. Let me scroll down a little bit. Tony had a red Jeep also, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, he had a red Jeep, but I don't think that they drove using a red Jeep. To me, that's like a red herring from law enforcement. They were trying to intimidate Tony Klein with that information. That's my opinion. They were maybe using that purple, what's the name of that? I forgot what was the other car. Guys, help me here. I have a lapsus. Not purple. Fuck. It's almost red, that coloring. Sorry, I have a mistake. But anyways, my point is that they were not using a red Jeep to go to Delphi. That was a strategy from law enforcement to intimidate Tony Klein, in my opinion. Still talking about Tyler. Trafficking involved, just my opinion, no evidence. It was also weird that in his charge, most of the communications are on the Emily Ann account, not the Anthony Shots one. I don't know what that means, but seems like something. What they were using Emily Ann as a part of the manipulation strategy. I remember one situation where Emily Ann, the communication was Emily Ann was at the hospital with his mother, and his mother was dying. That was the text between Emily Ann and the victim, just trying to manipulate the victim in that side. And at that same point, she was asking for nudes, and she was saying stuff like, "I'm gonna commit suicide," just manipulating the victims to obtain nudes. and again, in my opinion, to obtain addresses and to try to meet them. That's my point. I just got the notification. I'm so happy, Shay, and sorry, I know I have to answer back to you. I have a lot of homework to complete, so please be patient. I'm really interested in your information. Happy to have you here. NGL, what is NGL? They should go on with Kelsey, that's a fact. NGL. Well, Kegan Klein and Ron Logan was actually mentioned. Yeah, exactly. That's the word. Mentioned. They didn't put any effort at all. They passed the Kegan Klein and the Ron Logan uh, possibility, or they didn't even try. Come on, guys. You know that. You know that. It's clear. They were not hard into that. They didn't fight at all. The all the efforts. The Frank memorandum was 100% or 99% about the audience. So yeah. No, guys, come on. You know. Anyways, also in the PCA it says Anthony shot, not S. Ah, really? I don't remember that detail. Was that a typo, or they miss a whole other account, or what? Really? But they had a lot of wrong. It's like in the PCAs, we can see a lot of typos and mistakes. I remember that at one point when they were talking about the cell phone that was found under Libby, the wording was confusing and you could interpret. You could understand that the cell phone was under Abby. There was a lot of confusion. I think they were writing those documents very fast to try to get the approval of the judge as soon as possible, and it's really bad written. I agree with you. Kelt is here. No lawyer should want to bring up something as a defense that they know the general public will not believe exactly. That's one point. No one is going to buy that angle. Even if there are some interesting elements there, as Brad Holder, Patrick Westphal, but no one is going to believe in that theory, let's say. No jury, no jurors, no one. No one. It's a bad strategy. It's clear. The worst strategy ever. Let's say, in the worst case scenario, that that's what happened. That there was a ritualistic murder in this case. Even if that happened, which I don't believe at all, if I'm the lawyer of my client, I'm not gonna use that strategy because it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work at all. So you have the best option is to go with Kegan Klein or to go with Ron Logan. And if you're gonna prepare a Frank memorandum, do it using Kegan and or Logan, and you're gonna have more possibilities of success. That's my point. Thank you, Heather. Yeah, yes, guys, please hit the like, smash the like. And if you want to join the channel as Mar, for example, or Shay, I'm not gonna be mad. V, I would like to know why Mark said in text to Fortson that Kelsey, Bree, Chase, and Max were involved in the catfishing thing. Where he got that info? I'd like to know his proof. Yeah, good point. I don't know. Tentacles, tentacles, tentacles. Conflict of interest, of course. The biggest conflict of interest here, in my opinion. Scrolling down, guys. Give me just 1 second. How big is the firm? How many lawyers total? I don't know. I have to look for that information. According to Classic Overthinker, it was a small firm. But was this before the arrest of Richard Allen? Oh, yeah, of course. Of course, it was before. So that's my point. Yeah, PT Cruiser. Is that purple? Purple PT Cruiser. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you guys. Sometimes I have a lot of lapses. The articles I read about monkeys said it was worse than Tinder. I don't know too much about a monkey. Deb is here. How are you, Deb? There were so many convicted of raping, videoing, sending to dark web at the time in that monkey application. Oh shit. Oh, Mark and Betty. How are you, Mark and Betty? Happy to have you here, guys. This is a record amount of time since I seen you. Richard was abused, facts, but they didn't talk about how he was not the guys, about how he wasn't the guy. Don't get it. I think he was banned from YouTube. That's what I understand. Yeah, exactly, Mar. I think he's in Rumble. I think so. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, Brian. I anyways, I don't think he. I think he was involved, but I don't think he was the only one, and I don't think that he was the killer, or he was the only one. It's still we don't have we don't know the whole story here. What I think is that the actual killer was the one who was at the other side of the bridge. So the one who was with who went to the cemetery with Kegan Klein. That's the one. That's the guy who received the girls, in my opinion. The other one, the bridge guy, it's not. To me, we don't have any evidence that he was the killer. And in my opinion, to me, I know that this is not a popular opinion here, but to me, uh, there's a high possibility that Richard Allen was Bridge guy. But again, uh, there are multiple elements here pointing to multiple actors, and at the end, if Bridge guy was the one conducting the girls to the other side of the bridge, if that was the situation, to me, the actual killer or killers were the ones receiving the girls at the other side. That's what I think. There is more in the Kegan Klein Ron Logan theory than the other, of course, but you just stole my words, uh, Topher. Rumble is not YouTube, that's for sure. I don't know. We don't know with these platforms. Uh, from one day to the next one, the explosion is huge. So I think it's an important platform, like Twitch also. So we were used to watch YouTube, but I think the new generations are moving to other platforms. I don't know. Uh, the world is changing so fast day by day. Yeah, both can be true, but I think he was abused. He was. If he was in solitary confinement for more than 1 year, for sure he was abused. And of course, he was not in the right state of mind. And of course, because of that, the confessions are questionable. I agree with you guys in that sense. Yeah, great point, Offer. The geofence data. I think that The law enforcement, they didn't want to bring the geofence data to the process because it was not in favor of their theory. And maybe there's some exculpatory information there. Maybe they can see that the cell phone of Richard Allen was actually out of that area. Uh, it's really fishy, it's really weird. I don't like that at all. Geofencing data is something that is gonna provide you the elements to discard or to involve some actors here. And just the fact that law enforcement was not interested in bringing that geofencing data to the process, to me, it makes me think that maybe there was some exculpatory evidence there, potential. Is if they find something incriminating or involving Richard Allen, they're gonna push to have that geofencing data into the process. They didn't want to. Why? Why? We know why. It's obvious. Uh, my mouse is acting weird now. Sorry, guys. Here, comments. Okay. Commenting, going down. Peggy, how are you, Peggy? I watched your part of your show tonight, yesterday night. It was really interesting to. I I had to finish it, but I was moving sections, and the part when you were talking with Mark was really interesting. Happy to have you here again. Eh, what's going on with my mouse? They have nothing to tie him to the crime. Yeah, everything is circumstantial. What I think, in my opinion, is that Kegan Klein ratted on Richard Allen. And you know my theory. I'm not gonna go too deep into that tonight, but yeah, I agree with you. Everything is circumstantial, and I understand that circumstantial evidence is not a joke, and that's why I think he's Blitz guy. But um, there's no direct evidence. I agree with you. The one out at the cemetery on his bike with a walkie-talkie, nasty cut on the leg he had. You're talking about Dan McCain. I was expecting this message from Mar. Yeah, I know you believe he's not, but look, today I'm not in that side of thinking. Let's say, Shay, it doesn't prove that he was denied due process. It does prove that he was denied due process. Yeah, for sure. He didn't have the due process. I agree with you. He didn't get a fair trial. I agree with you. But that was also, you have to put that blame. Also, part of that is because of the defense. And we just talk about why the defense was not trying to push harder into the clients and into the Ron Logan's angle. He suffered cruel and unusual punishment before he ever went to trial. I agree 100%. I agree with you in that comment 100%. But we have to give a little bit of that. How can we say? The defense was also part of that. And I know it's hard for you guys because you like the defense lawyers. But to me, he didn't have the best representation. And if you are really pro Allen, at one point you have to figure out that they committed a lot of mistakes, the defense lawyers. That's my opinion. I hope the appealing attorneys or lawyers are going to be better. So I think we're gonna come back to the tier list and or not. Let me continue with the comments here, guys, for a while. Yeah, there were a lot of red flags. Also, not having any cameras in the courtroom, not having any audio material. Yeah, it was just bad. I believe it would be damaging for his phone if it doesn't appear in the geofence data. Yeah, it became less thought-provoking as the night went on. Really? It was shaky at the beginning, or what? Again, my mouse is acting weird. Okay, let's come back to the tier list. What about... okay, we talk about the lawyers. So I'm gonna put the lawyers in the second line. Why? We were talking about the lawyers in regards of Richard Allen, but in this tier list related to Kegan Kline, again, sorry, I lost my line of thinking here. The fact, I have a lapsus. Why did I put the lawyer here in the Kline's angle here? Yeah, I know why. Why do you think that the defense, they didn't use, or they didn't bring, they didn't put Kegan Kline as a witness on the stand? Why do you think so? Because, and this is my theory here, if Kegan Kline, let's say if the prosecution asked Kegan Kline about Richard Allen, and if Kegan, he doesn't want to commit perjury, he may need to talk about Allen. So I think it was not in favor of the defense to bring Kegan Kline as a witness in this process. I know you're gonna be mad with me, but that's what I think. Let's talk about Kyla, the Kyla story here. I'm gonna put Kyla in the, let's say, in the second line of the tier list. Remember the interview that Kyla gave to Murder Sheet? To me, that was a very important testimony, and it shows you the modus operandi again of Kegan Kline. Kegan Kline or Anthony Shots in that exact situation with Kyla, but she was really convinced that it was Kegan, the one that was messaging her. Kegan was pissed with Kyla because she showed up at the Galveston Park, Foster Park, with a girlfriend. And the words were, why did you bring your girlfriend here? You know, I can kidnap you and I can cut your throat and watch you bleed out. This is the same image of the Delphi murders. This is the same case or the same picture. When you think about Abby and Libby, it's the same thing. A park, someone that went to the park to meet Anthony Shots. So in the case of Kyla, was Kyla with another girl, and Kegan Kline threatening Kyla with kidnapping and with murdering her with by cutting her throat and watching her bleeding out. So it's just the modus operandi is the same. I think Kegan Kline he had fantasies about cutting throats, and when you go to the Twitter account of Kegan Kline, you see a lot of references since 2012 about throats. he had a fixation with throats. There's something really weird in that situation there. Let's talk about socks. Let's put the socks in the third line of the tier list. Remember that there are two pieces of clothing that are missing uh, in the crime scene, right? We don't have the one of the socks of Libby and the underwear. And at the same time, we know that Kegan Klein, he had a fetish, an obsession with socks, a sexual obsession with socks. There was a lot of there were a lot of shows that were made by this is a crime shame, that channel. I forgot the name of the woman that ran that channel, but remember that there were some women trying to catfish Kegan Klein when he was in prison. And we have the whole story or the whole information, because that was actually a very good piece of information related to his fetish with socks. And to me, there is a possibility that a sock was uh, was taken as a trophy. It's not impossible. I'm not saying that's the situation, but could be, could be. So I don't know. I don't know. Another element. This is gonna be, of course, in the first line of the tier list, the trip to Vegas. So just right after the murders, Tony Klein and Kegan Klein, he left Delphi to go to Vegas. Uh, we know that that trip was pre-planned. So, but it doesn't mean that they didn't took advantage of that to prepare the crime. I don't think the crime was planned or was pre-planified, let's say, because when you see how stupid is gonna be Bridge guy to walk from the, let's say, from the CPS building to the Monon Heights Bridge. He knew that a lot of people was watching him during that period of time. So if he's trying or planning to kill two girls, he's not gonna walk that trail in that way, even if he had some type of a mask on his face. He's gonna go behind the trees. He's gonna try to hide, but he was really exposed. So that's why I don't think this crime was the murders were planned. I think the abduction was planned. They wanted to abduct, to assault the girls, but they didn't want to kill the girls. That's what I think. Something happened, something degenerated. There was something that changed the game, and they had to kill, or they decided to kill the girls. But anyways, coming back to the Vegas situation, again, very fishy. They went to Vegas right after the commission of the murders. There we have the searches that Kegan Klein was doing in Google when he was in Vegas, how long the DNA lasts, how weird searches about stomachs, uh, searching about, I think he was listening to the Guys Down the Hill audio 6 or 7 times, something like that. Weird searches, especially the DNA Google search was really weird. So again, I'm gonna put the Vegas trip here in the first line of the tier list. Dropbox, this is maybe the most important in my opinion. Uh, I think there are a lot of, or not a lot, well, yes, there are a lot of people involved in that Dropbox, but some of them are people with power in that community. Uh, and that's why I'm not gonna repeat my theory, but I think that Kegan Klein, he had some immunity here in this case, that he made a negotiation to with law enforcement. That's why he was not, even if he confessed, he was not charged with the murders. I think they had enough evidence to convict Kegan Klein, but to me, there's an immunity element here, and he made a negotiation. That's what I think. My theory, I'm not gonna repeat it, but yeah, Dropbox is a big element in this case. And if law enforcement is trying to protect someone with power, uh, imagine how bad the investigation is gonna be conducted. They're gonna try to hide some uh, leads. They're gonna need to destroy some interviews. They're gonna need to destroy some security cam videos, like the Marathon gas station. They may need to involve some person in the crime to protect another one. So this is just bad. And again, to me, maybe the most important element in this tier list is that Dropbox. Coming back for a while to the chat. Give me 1 second, guys, here. Okay. Linda's looking Miller. I'm not sure how to give you an address. Classic overthinker. After reading the transcript, I'm shocked at how bad the defense was. Really bad. Really, really bad. Sorry I spelled your name wrong. Wrong. Sonny, an example of a terrible do-nothing lawyer was Todd Molly's private attorney. Enemy. Yeah, they didn't try hard. I don't buy that, guys. Sorry, they didn't try hard at all. At all, zero, 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 zero. Sucks. Yeah, sucks. Brian, we have to remember we live in the world's biggest cock blocker goal. I'm almost surprised they didn't plant a sock in Rick's keepsake box. That's funny. This is one of the best comments of the night. Oh my god. Excellent comment. Spooky. Imagine having a kink about socks. Yeah. And socks are sexually related. It's not like a what a cap or I don't know, a t-shirt. When you talk about underwears, socks, there's a sexual connotation there. Fetish. You're funny, guys. Oh my god. I can see that. Oh, again. You can see that you're having fun in the chat with the socks. I lost my. Okay, I have it here. Yeah, it's really weird for sure. And in prison, they trade socks and underwears and stuff like that. Yeah. Uh, Oh, it's Fishy's here. How are you, Fishy? Happy to have you here tonight. One of our hobbies sucks. Let me scroll down. Okay, Brian. I can't even get into that. Liars be lying. I can't sort through truths. DNA and evidence might be important. Cryptex looks like he's chilling tonight. Trying to relax. This week was really heavy, hard at work. So, yeah. Cheers, guys. If you want to have a drink with me, cheers. My teenage grandson crushed his socks. Oh my God, guys. Sock on the door. Don't go in, grandma. You're crazy, guys. Oh my God. I don't wanna know about it. Shay, that is a big mistake for an American. The implications of that callousness will crush us all one day. That is the only thing that will get him an appeal. You cannot introduce new evidence on appeal. Yeah, good point. Good point. Peggy, anyone could have gotten away with this crime if they refused to talk to the police. 100%. 100%. His new ones were good though. Mine or oh man. Zoni. Identified DNA is what Slick Nick said would be needed to mention third party, and Gould adopted his nonsense. People could get away with a lot of they didn't think, they didn't talk to the cops. Socks equals Fifi. What is Fifi? What is Fifi, guys? They did zip zero silch for 5.5 years. Yeah. Sweet dude, Chibi, how are you? Socks are hot when they keep your feet warm. Yep. Happy to have you here. Sweet dude. Yeah, that's what that was the comment of the day. Spooky, you're great. Spooky's funny. That was funny, funny. Shay is being serious, guys, so please take the example of Shay tonight. The problem for us is that we, on the outside looking in, we have all the information that the jury never heard. Good point. And Gould made sure there wouldn't be no room for reasonable doubt. I agree. Good point as usual, Shay. 100%. 100%. What does Kegan tier list mean? We are doing a tier list tonight with the elements pointing to Kegan Klein's involvement in this crime, and maybe, in my opinion, pointing to him being the mastermind of the crime. And just to change the way we discuss about this angle, I prepared this tier list to, I don't know, to make it more dynamic and different. So let's go with the Cash App application. Again, it's gonna be here in the top of the tier list. We know that Anthony Schultz or Kegan Klein, he was sending money to Libby. This is written in the transcript. Vido, when Vido was talking to Kegan, he said, "We have the money, the Anthony Schultz money account, going to Libby." So Kegan Klein was sending money to Libby. What was the nature of that transaction? We don't know. He was paying for nudes. I don't know. Was Libby asking for money because she knew something and she was the one trying to catfish Anthony Schultz or Kegan? And maybe that's part of this, of the motive of the crime. Did Libby knew something? She was doing some type of extortion to Kegan, to Anthony Schultz, and that's why he was sending money to her. I don't know. Again, we know that this was also his modus operandi. When we have the testimony of the other victim in the other uh, case unrelated to Delphi, the one where Kegan Klein was asking the victim for her address in order to send her some Victoria's Secret stuff. At the same time, in that transcript, the same girl, she says that Kegan Klein was sending her money via the Cash App application to buy food for herself. And I remember well, she was talking about $10. So Kegan was sending money to his victims, not too much. Again, $10 to one of the victims. Was he paying for nudes? What was the nature of that transaction? I don't know, but the motive or one of the motives for this crime could be there in that element, in my opinion. Again, another element very important to me is that Kegan was supposed to meet Libby, but she didn't show up. So when you add, you connect uh, all of these elements, to me, Kegan Klein was there. He confessed of being there and committing the crime with his father and another guy. He said that he was supposed to meet Libby, but she never showed up. It is not said that he was supposed to meet Libby at the bridge on the 13th, but we know that in the context of the conversation, that is what is implicit there. That's the context of the conversation. And so the confession, Kegan saying that he was supposed to meet her, and Kegan looking for the address of the Marathon gas station, connect those three elements. He was there. He was there in Delphi on the 13th. I cannot say it wasn't the case. To me, connect those three dots. He was looking for the address of the Marathon gas station. He was supposed to meet Libby, but she didn't show up, and he confessed. Come on, seriously? Okay, let's talk. We're almost finishing. We're almost gonna finish here with the tier list. We have the fire pit. I'm gonna put the fire pit in the, let's say, in the third line. Interesting element. We know that after coming back from the cemetery to their house, the clients, they burned their clothes in one fire pit behind the grandmother's house. Remember that there was a search warrant, and law enforcement, they were looking for, they were looking or searching that fire pit. I guess they couldn't find anything, but interesting element again. Other element, Reese Davis. I'm gonna put Reese Davis here in the case of Kegan Klein. To me, Reese Davis is a mess. Reese Davis is relevant and very important in the Ron Logan's angle, because he knew that information from Ron Logan about the box cutter in 2017, information that only the killer would know. But in the case of Kegan Klein, it's just a mess. I don't know what to think about the whole information of Reese Davis in regards of Kegan Klein. Everything is confusing. So according to Reese Davis, there's a conspiracy. I know that in this case we talk about tentacles, but so we have Kegan, Ron Logan, working together. I mean, it's not impossible, but I don't know. I don't buy it. And what is interesting here in regards of Rizzy Davis and Kegan Kline is the letters that he sent to Nick McLelland. We don't know anything about that. What happened with those letters? That's fishy, right? And the last element, and then I'm gonna come back to the chat, is the Wabash River search, of course. It's gonna be again in the first line of the tier list. To me, everything is explained by the Wabash. You know my theory. I'm not gonna make you mad, so I'm gonna stop there. But to me, all the explanations are there. So that was the tier list. I'm gonna come back to the chat before ending the live tonight. Miranda, I just saw this live, but cool. Happy to have you here, Miranda. Tougher. Shay Watson, nothing that was not submitted in the trial can be submitted in the appellate court. Yeah, good point. Good point. Luis Cuevas is in the house. How are you, Luis? Happy to have you here. Luis Cuevas is cool. Oh, Daisy is still here. What time is in Australia? Should be very late now. I don't know. Cool that Daisy is still here. Linda's looking Miller. Oh, Miranda, she had a brain surgery? Wow. How are you, Miranda? I hope you're feeling better. You had a bad kidney infection. Oh, shit. Okay. Best wishes, Miranda. I hope you're gonna be in full shape soon. So at least we can see that your brain is working perfectly. So happy for that. Daisy, I missed a lot of the show, but coming back to this for sure. I don't know enough about the Dropbox. Cool. Okay, let me scroll down. Kegan is a nasty ass piece of shit. Well, he's not rotting. He's gonna go out very soon. And that's part of the negotiation he made with law enforcement. He didn't get 132 years. He got 42, and he's gonna be released after maybe 15 or 20 years. It's nothing. He's very young, so he made a great deal. I'm not sure about Kegan Kline, but you're helping me understand it more. Happy for you. Sweet dude. Cryptex, you said fishy lots tonight. I agree this is a fishy kind of night because of the socks. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, you too. You are in Australia, Toffer? Okay, cool. Okay, it's not that. 11:33 a.m. Okay, it's actually very early. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, that's my word, fish. Okay, let me see the last comments here. Fishy. He says things are fishy. I think it's funny. I mean, it's kind of fishy if you ask me. Of course, fishy. Okay, guys, I think that was all for tonight. It was cool to have you here. I hope you enjoyed the live, the chat, the conversation. Please hit the like if you haven't. Please subscribe if you're not. Please, if you want to join the channel, that's gonna be great. And stay in touch. See you guys. And if you are in the replay, please go to the comment section and let me your comments there. See you. Ciao, guys.